forget to give the pitch. 'Cause the song is alive everywhere. Good afternoon or evening, whatever it may be where you are. Welcome to our Wednesday fun. And this is going to be fun because our theme today is a little laughter, please. This is part one of our two-part series focusing on let's have some fun together. Before we get into the laughter, however, I have a very sad but a very important thing to tell you. On April the 3rd, the world lost one of the most wonderful musicians ever. His name was Bill Purcell. He was a composer, a pianist, an orchestrator, an arranger. He had actually one pop hit way back in the 60s called Our Winter Love, but he actually did more to change the course of Broadway and pop music, especially when it came to his arranging. His arrangements were absolutely some of the best ever. In fact, he was a Grammy-nominated composer. And I had the extreme privilege of working with Purcell on my third album called Through the Eyes of Love. He did all the orchestration. And so we recorded this album in the middle 70s in London, in a big studio there. We recorded the whole thing live. The entire orchestra was in the studio. Bill was conducting the orchestra. He had, on the plane going from LA to London, he had written all the arrangements. And I am still blown away about how a person takes a pencil and a piece of paper and scribbles down a bunch of stuff, hands it to a bunch of players, and magic happens. And it did happen with Bill's arranging. I want to play you one piece, and this is just for us to listen. I want to listen with you. I want you to hear not so much the voice, but I want you to hear the orchestration. I want you to hear how the strings sing and how the brasses bite and how the movement just emphasizes the words. He text paints. So this is Bill Purcell's arrangement of my song Flying Like an Eagle, recorded in 1976 in London for the album Through the Eyes of Love. Let's listen together.
Like an eagle flying, like an eagle flying, like an eagle running and not being weary, walking and not fainting at all. Flying like an eagle, running and not being weary. He who saves you will not let you fall. When your days go by at a crazy pace and your life seems so like a frantic race, and you sometimes think you just can't stand the strain. When a trifle threatens to blow your mind and relief is something you cannot find, and you cannot get yourself together again, you better stop. Let it all go for a while. Do you need your strength to be restored? Close your eyes, see the vision in His word, for The aspirin that you took last night doesn't really help you to feel alright, and there's just no use in trying anymore. When the world has torn your defense away and you cannot make it another day, and your life lies bruised and broken on the floor, you better stop. Let it all go for a while. Do you need your strength to be restored? Close your eyes and see the vision in His Word for everyone who waits upon the Lord. It's a vision of flying like an eagle, running and not being weary, walking and not fainting at all. Flying like an eagle, running and not being weary. He who saves you will not let you fall. Like an eagle flying, like an eagle flying, like an eagle flying.
How in the world do you make them sing like that? How in the world do you give them their own melodies? How in the world do you make those brasses bite like that? How in the world do you make the oboe tease us with visions of something more beautiful than most of the things we see day by day? How do you make them say something elegant as they play and play and play? Oh, sometimes it's a country western band. Sometimes it's a symphony. Sometimes it's a jazz combo, and sometimes you're working for me. You did more with my little old songs than I could ever guess. You turned them into works of art to heal and give hope and bless. Every single note, every single swooping line, every single chord, every single change that you arranged made magic. So I thank you, Bill Purcell. Thanks, Bill. I hope you get to make lots of music wherever you are. So, a little laughter, please. In these unpredictable, crazy, scattered, catastrophic times, we need to laugh. I remember Bishop Desmond Tutu. I was in Australia. The year was 1987. Apartheid had not yet come down in South Africa. Things were horrible. There was rioting and destruction, and the apartheid government was clamping down more and more and more. Bishop Desmond Tutu of South Africa came to a youth event in Australia. I happened to be doing the music for it. And he spent 5 days with us. He would speak in the morning, and he didn't speak about how tragic things were in South Africa. He talked to these high school students, several thousand of them, about their lives and about what their callings might be. And then all day long, he would sit out on the lawn with these students, talking about their girlfriends and their unique problems, laughing with them, telling jokes to them. He wore a t-shirt that said, "Just call me Arch." And I wondered how in the world he could do this with South Africa falling apart. And on that last day, on Friday morning, he spoke to the kids about the fact that you're going to be our partners, and we're going to do this great work in South Africa. We're going to bring a whole new world to be. But the whole week long, he was smiling and rejoicing. And I got the sense from him, if you couldn't find laughter, then you might as well give up. So in these next two broadcasts, we want to laugh a little. And I sing you this song inspired by several people who have come into my life. And this is called Granny, and it's a compilation of really several different people who have showed me the joy of being able to be a laugher. Called her Granny, and she lived on the corner 3 doors up from me. Taught me how to listen, taught me how to see, taught me to be gentle, taught me to be strong, taught me a little song to sing, taught me a little song to sing, taught me a little song to sing whenever things go wrong. She said, laugh when the world says cry. She said, sing when the world says sigh. She said, live when the world says die. Me oh my, me oh my. She said, laugh when you get to the Jericho wall and you think that your hope is gone. Laugh when you're out in the wilderness and you think that you can't go on. Or laugh when you get to the river Styx and your dying day has come. Laugh, little brother, and you will find. Laugh, little brother, and you will find. Laugh, little brother, and you will find you'll laugh yourself all the way home. She said, laugh when the world says cry. She said, sing when the world says sigh. She said, live when the world says die. Me oh my, me oh my. Granny was much wiser than I'll ever hope to be. And Granny knew a whole lot more pain than I will ever see. And I remember on her dying day, she called me to her side. She said, sing me that song once more, little brother. Sing me that song once more, little brother. Sing me that song once more, little brother. I'm going for a little ride. She said, laugh when the world says cry. She said, sing when the world says sigh. She said, live when the world says die. Me oh my. 哦。 So my lovely manager, Bev, and her husband, Dave, sent me this fabulous T-shirt. I don't know if you can see it, but it says, "Never underestimate an old man with a piano." And there's another one that Beverly told me about today. It said, "Underestimate me." That should be fun. So I want to introduce one of the funniest people I know. He is an actor, a premier actor. He is a humorist. He is a writer. He writes shows like some of us take pills. This person writes new shows, I mean, maybe weekly, maybe daily. I don't know how many shows he's written, hundreds. We had a chance to work together on several different projects, the most exciting of which was a musical called Live at Jacob's Ladder. It's the story of Jacob and Esau, those old biblical characters. Ted is going to be on in just about 10 minutes. Just before Ted comes on, I want to do one of my favorite scenes from a collection that I did several years ago called Is Your Phone Ringing? And the thing is, I wonder, what would it be like if there had been phones in the Bible? And I've just lost my phone, lost my prop. Oh well. So the story of Joshua and the Battle of Jericho would go something like this. Ring! Hello, this is Josh. Who's this? God! How nice to hear from you. How's everything up there? Yeah, well, it's the pits down here. Well, here we are, standing in front of the city of Jericho. There's this big border wall up here. You know what I mean? We're not going to get over it. There's guys with bows and arrows up on top of the wall. You get too close, you get shot. What are we going to do? What? You're going to give us the city of Jericho? For real? Whoa! I can just hear the victory song now. Oh, stick to business. Okay. What do I got for weapons down here? Oh, you wouldn't believe it. We got this secret weapons. We got stuff that Russia and China haven't even seen yet. I mean, you wouldn't believe this. We have the original, made in Egypt, stolen from Egypt, wall crasher, gate smasher, 5 megaton battering ram. Yeah. You don't want to use the battering ram. Okay. We got bows and arrows and swords and spears and shields and stuff like that. You don't want to use those either. Do you mind telling me what the game plan is for this little adventure? What? Wait a second. We have a bad connection. Would you speak a little bit louder, please? You said trumpets. You want to use trumpets, as in them kind of trumpets. You want us to walk around the walls of Jericho for 7 days in absolute silence and then blow trumpets. Oh! I hate to tell you, God. You know what that's going to look like from up there on the wall? Hey, you guys! Look down there! It's the Israeli concert band! What? You want me to write down the tune we're going to play? Well, okay, I'm not a musician, but I'll do my... You're going to have Gabriel play it for me on this horn up there? He's a good horn player, yeah. Okay, you have him play it, I'll write it down. Okay. Okay, let me see if I got this straight. Haven't played this horn for a long time. whatever the season, your very life is a reason to hope in God. But then stay alive, and you reckon you got no way to survive. Whatever the season, your very life is a reason to hope in God. Hope in God. It's easy when you're talking it. Words are cheap. We all know what to say. Just like Job, it's harder when you're doing it. House is gone, friends are gone, life is ebbing away. I said your life is ebbing away when that storm cloud is kicking up waves. You and your rowboat is too far gone to save. Whatever the season, your very life is a reason to hope in God. Oh yeah, hope in God. Easy when you're talking about it. Words are cheap, and we all know what to say. Just like Sister Hagar, it's harder when you're doing it. You're out in the desert with no food or water, and your life is ebbing away. I said your life is ebbing away. I said your life is ebbing away. When that prison is locked up tight, and you reckon you got no way out tonight. Whatever the season, your very life is a reason. Whatever the season, your very life is a reason. Whatever the season, your very life is a reason to hope in God. Thank you very much. Now, it's time to call Ted Swartz, my wonderful actor friend, my partner, my, what do I call you, my collaborator. Ted, come on in and say hi to the folks.
Hey there. Nice to see you, Ken.
The last time we were together, it was the middle of March, wasn't it?
March 13th. Yeah.
March 13 was our final show. It was a series of shows that we did for Brethren churches, I think. And
Primarily,
it was called
yeah.
Can We Talk? Right? And you and your wife Sue and Beverly, my manager, and I, and we had a wonderful driver helping us. We were in a big old motorhome traveling
Right.
across all over the Northeast and doing shows for a couple of weeks. It was really, really fun. And I want to do it again.
Yeah, I do too. So actually, I'd just like to do anything. That would be nice.
That's right. So the little scene that we're going to do together is a scene from that show. Do you want to tell the folks a little bit about the show and about what we're doing together?
The show was called, as Ken said, Can We Talk? And it was about some of the ways that we have conversations with each other that are well-intended, but sometimes don't go well. And we wanted to have a scene that reflected a bit of what was the cultural and political scene at the time, which seems a little quaint right now. To have written a scene back in March and February to do, but we wanted to use a bit of the cliche of what does it feel like to be at Thanksgiving dinner with someone you are related to and need to be there with that you don't agree with. So
maybe we just quaint do this anymore. Oh, that was a bad pun. Sorry.
it was a very bad pun. So that's all for me. I'll see you.
I'll introduce it with a bit of the song that started the show.
Yes.
And then we'll go.
We'll go right in.
Well, come on, old friend. time again, while the world is rushing to its judgment day, judgment day. We'll take some time and we'll try to find the rhyme, and if it gets too hard, we'll laugh the time away. Well, I know you say you're busy, but the pace can make you dizzy, and your heart attack is just around the bend, round the bend. Leave it all behind you, 'cause the craziness can blind you, and besides all that, I sure do need a friend. There'll be time enough to fight the windmills and all the battles that never seem to end. So from now till quarter after, it's a cup of love and laughter. So come on, old friend, it's talking time again.
Brothers.
Yeah, right.
He's older.
Smarter.
Older.
Brothers.
Sometimes get along.
Sometimes.
A Thanksgiving dinner.
There's something about pumpkin pie and yams and baked corn that just makes him, I don't know, close-minded, bullheaded, and impossible.
Close-minded, bullheaded, and impossible. So it was Thanksgiving 3 years ago.
What can't you see here? Are you blind or what?
I understand perfectly well.
No, you don't. Government has to get out of the way to let the economy grow.
Oh, you mean grow without any kind of checks at all?
Well, regulations are ruining entrepreneurship in this country.
Oh, you mean the regulations that protect water and wildlife?
No, I mean the regulations that make it impossible to put people to work.
Government is not your enemy, Charles.
Government is not your mother, Gerald.
We are the government.
Oh, yeah, way too much overreach, way beyond the intent of the founders.
No one is taking away your right to own a gun.
Not now, but they want to.
Charles,
No, that's the meaning of the red flag law.
no, it isn't. It simply means that if you are a threat to yourself or someone else, the authorities can take away your gun. That's it.
And who decides that?
We do.
Case in point. Gerald, whatever happened to you?
What do you mean?
We never used to argue like this. Why did you change?
Why didn't you?
All I can say is your heart bleeds too much.
Since when is compassion and generosity a bad thing, right?
When it's misinformed.
Oh, so you have the information.
Well, I am a conservative, therefore I think.
I'm a liberal, therefore I feel.
You liberals don't stand for anything.
That isn't true. We stand for a society taking care of the least among us.
Oh, handouts. Yay, let's have it for handouts.
If they need them, yes.
Without working?
If they can work, of course.
Man, you have lost the values we grew up with as children.
Why do I think you have?
Why can't you just admit that you might be wrong?
That's my question exactly.
Well, because it's scary, yes.
I can't believe that two people who grew up in the same household could end up thinking this differently.
Oh, well, for that matter, what makes you think it was the same household?
We had the same parents.
Oh, no, we didn't, baby.
Sure we did.
I was the oldest. By the time you came along, 4 kids later, man, they were different.
Okay. Maybe.
They were tough they taught me responsibility and discipline. I mean, if you didn't work, you didn't eat. It was just that simple.
I thought they were tough on me.
Nah, you were a baby. You had no idea what tough was.
That's not how I remember it.
So we don't agree on anything.
I'm starting to wonder. Love?
Well, of course.
Okay. God?
Ah, here we go. Depends on how you define God.
God is love.
Without judgment,
Yes.
you don't fear God.
Why would I fear God?
A little impetus to stay faithful.
So, in order to stay faithful, I have to be afraid of God.
A wayward people we have always been.
Perfect love casts out all
Here we
fear.
go. Okay, Lord, you are worthy of all praise and to be feared above all gods.
See what love God has lavished upon us that we may be the children of God.
And you, Lord, you are to be feared, and who can stand in your presence once you are angry?
Oh Lord, you are gracious and compassionate, slow to anger. See what love you lavish upon us. Your love is both faithful and gracious.
I got the clincher.
What? There's no
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Real love is loving kindness and compassion. Real love does not have any conditions.
Wait a minute. That's not in the Bible.
You sure? It's a pretty big book, the Bible.
Yup. Nope. I know it's not in the Bible.
Should be, though.
You can't add to the Bible.
Why not?
Why not?
Everything else in the world is growing, changing, evolving.
God is unchanging.
I agree. So then she too should be changing and evolving.
Woo! Be careful.
So God's love is conditional.
No. Yes.
Yes.
God is still a God of judgment.
I don't think you were held enough as a child.
I wasn't coddled.
I think we got sidetracked on what it is that we agree on.
Okay. Leonard Cohen.
Leonard Cohen. Cheesecake.
Bob and Ray. Hang by
Hang
your
by your
thumbs.
thumbs, right if you get
work. That's a great line.
laughter.
Compassion.
Honesty.
Curiosity.
Yeah.
Well, I hope so, because if we're not curious about each other, we could be really lost. I mean, I may
So
not
lots to agree on,
Well, yeah.
but not everything.
Well, agreeing on everything may be highly overrated. I mean, I'm not asking you to agree with me on everything. I'm just asking you to listen.
That may be uncommonly wise. Okay, big brother.
Okay, little brother.
It looks like we're leaving. Thanks again for hosting.
You're welcome.
See you at Christmas.
Oh, that's likely. And Gerald,
Yeah.
don't bring yams.
Is that a metaphor?
No, seriously, just simply don't bring yams.
I thought you liked yams.
Nope, don't now, never did.
Boy, you learn something new every day.
I've been saying this for the last 19 Thanksgivings. I don't like yams. And that was Thanksgiving 3 years ago. There'll be time enough to fight the windmills and all the battles that never seem to end. So from now till quarter after, or from now till 20 after, or from now till 30 after, 40 after, 50 after, or from now till ever after, it's a cup of love and laughter. So come on, old friend, it's talking time again. Well, and there we are. We didn't drop any lines, Ted.
No, I don't think we did. No, there's a few I'd like to do better, but I don't think we dropped any.
Yeah, well, that's always the case.
Yeah,
So you are working currently on a new project.
I am.
What-
Would you like to ask me what that is?
yeah, I would like to ask you what that is. Shall I do that now?
Yeah, I think you should do that.
Okay,
Now.
Ted.
Yeah.
What is your new project?
Well, after the thanks for asking.
Did I ask it right?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Okay.
After the pandemic hit, anyone who makes their living on the road had to figure out what to do next. And one of the things that my company, as well as the nonprofit that we're the Center for Art, Humor, and Soul, decided that we would pivot strongly into creating a new work instead of sitting around waiting for the opportunity to be on stage again. And so one of the actors in my company, as a collaborator, Michelle Milne and I started working on a show on the Enneagram. The Enneagram is a personality study or personality assessment. It gives you a way to look at yourself and others. Many people know what that is. If you don't know, it's a fascinating way to learn to know yourself and then use that empathy that you have for your own self and embrace others with that same kind of empathy. It's a remarkable tool, and it's been a lot of fun to work on because the Enneagram is about us, and we are infinitely interesting and fallible and funny. So we began the writing in a pandemic and decided that we would write a show about two actors and writers writing a show about the Enneagram in a pandemic.
And before you're going to do a scene for the show, but before you do that, I want you to
Yeah.
tell people about both the Ted and Company and the center, because I think people need to know about this and need to know how they can find you and perhaps donate and participate in your work.
Sure, that would be amazing. The company that I've been a part of for 25 years is called now Ted and Company. For years, we were Ted and Lee Theater Works. Now it's Ted and Company. The nonprofit is called Center for Art, Humor, and Soul, and it is the creative incubator for new works. The idea would be if we have an idea for a show or someone else has an idea for an art project, that the center will be part of the creative process. We will have the directors and the writers and actors create the show, and then Ted and Company will be the ones that perform it on the road. So it's like stage one and stage two. At this point, we don't know when we're going to be on the road, so the center has become a huge part of the way that we're trying to stay afloat and stay creative and stay hopeful. So if you want to donate,
How
yes,
can
Ken.
people do that?
Well, Ken, if they want to do that, they can go to the Center for Art, Humor, and Soul and go to the donate page. There are a number of projects there that you can participate in and contribute, or you can just simply give a gift to the center, and that'll help us keep alive, as it were.
So sell your boat and sell that second car.
Please
Whatever.
sell the boat. Exactly, sell the boat. Yeah. Keep the car, sell the boat.
Okay. Well, this is material that's brand new to me, so I'm
Yeah.
going to sit back and listen.
It's brand new for me as well. Again, I'm going to give you just a bit of a background for the personality type that I am. I'm going to do a monologue. There are 9 types, and I'm a 7. Actually, Ken is also a 7. So this describes Ken and I, and it looks like this. 7s are often extroverted, optimistic, versatile, and spontaneous. They are playful, high-spirited, and practical. However, they can also misapply their many talents, becoming overextended, scattered, and undisciplined. They constantly seek new and exciting experiences, but can become distracted and exhausted by staying on the go. Their key to motivations are to want to maintain freedom and happiness to avoid missing out, but they avoid pain at all costs. So, a monologue about an Enneagram 7. You know what really burns my shorts? Puts the bee in the bonnet, really ticks me off. It's the way that these, funny videos that you see online about the Enneagram numbers, the Enneagram 7s, it's always the same thing. Hey, we're always ready for a party. Yeah, we can make anything fun. We could make going to the hardware store a journey of immeasurable experiences and fun, especially the plumbing section. Yeah. See the dancing monkey. Yes. Cue the organ player. It really gets tiresome because these descriptions, they feel like, well, they miss us. They miss me. And you end up feeling a little bit cheap. Not that I don't mind feeling cheap every now and then. Who doesn't like that? I mean, cheap. That means when nobody really expects much out of you, so that you can skate around the deeper stuff that might say something about what you really believe and what you really think. You can just drift along and slide away onto the next new idea, party, the next project, cheap. But why don't these, sometimes funny videos get to the deeper stuff? Why do they always go to the low-hanging fruit? Why don't they go a little bit higher where it's harder to reach? I know it's up there, but the fruit's a little sweeter up there. Yeah, they have the surface blemishes there. I mean, this fruit may not be fit for Whole Foods, but it's just a surface blemish. It's okay. It's a better way up there. Blemish, that's such a good word. Blemish. Reminds me of Flemish, which feels exotic and a little intriguing at the same time. Yeah. Flemish, like a sea captain with a mysterious past. Yeah, you can almost think, boy, that Reichert, he sure knows his way around a trawler, but why does he know so much about ancient Greece and also assassination methods? Yeah, don't get him started on the destruction of the Socratic method in modern academia or homemade silencers. Flemish. Which reminds me of phlegm. Phlegm, that's an unfortunate pass, I suppose, but that's only if you don't understand just what the value is of phlegm in keeping vital organs moist. Moist, that's another difficult word for some people. So, phlegm. Yeah. Did you know that in the medieval times, phlegm was one of the 4 basic humors? Yeah. Describing someone who was calm and stoic and sometimes apathetic. Yeah. Just phlegm. I think we need to start using it a little bit more in that way. Phlegm, not just the stuff that, gets caught down in here, but phlegm, the way that they used it in the medieval times. You would be like this. You would say, the new marketing director, she's really starting to grow on me. You know what I mean? I mean, we're in a meeting. There's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of deadlines coming up, and she holds the room when she just goes totally phlegm. Phlegm. Well, back to the burning shorts. So we got burning shorts, phlegm, and moist. When those never funny videos come on, you feel like you've been missed completely. All right. Always out for the party, running away from pain, looking for something new. I really get tired of being a theatrical magpie looking for the next new fun idea. Because maybe what I'm supposed to be doing is working on the project that I'm in right now and making that the best it can be instead of chasing something, because Staying in something is hard work, sometimes painful. Maybe the bigger fear is afraid of missing out what's right here, right now. And it niggles at you, it bites at you. And so you flit away, chasing the next new fun idea. But it's still there, the deeper fear. And that's the first time I've ever done that. So
I don't want to miss the good stuff. It's waiting here before me. I don't want to miss the good stuff. And when I say that, don't ignore me. I don't want to be running off to what I can find tomorrow. I don't want to be missing today's pain and today's sorrow. I don't want to miss the laughter that's waiting here and now, but dashing for something new where I've never been somehow. And I don't want to miss the phlegm that's waiting to come down. It's a Flemish party waiting. It's a Flemish kind of wonder. And the phlegm is quickly fleeing, so catch it before it's gone. I'm a 7. Please understand, I'm not always running. There's some new adventure land. I'm a 7. When you see me on the street, or when you see me in the hallway, or when you see me in the office, or in the bedroom, or in the kitchen, you look at me and say, how are you? I'm likely to say, fine. I got this wonderful new thing going on. But if you look me in my face and say, how are you really, 7? You may find out I am longing. You may find out I am searching for this moment's bit of heaven and phlegm.
oh, touche.
Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, and we did this stuff, for years on the road. So I'm hoping we can be on the road again sometime. Ted, it has been a real privilege to have you on the show. Next week, in part 2, we're going to have a mutual friend of ours, Kurt Cloninger.
What?
Yeah, Kurt Cloninger is going to be on the show next week.
Oh, so I'm opening for Kurt.
No, actually, Kurt is, how do we say it? Let's see. There's got to be a more flattering way of saying this.
Headlining?
You're headlining, and Kurt is the band that plays while they walk out. No.
So glad he's doing that.
It is great to have you here, and thank you so much, and love to your family.
Thank you,
and
Ken.
we will be together again. So I want to tell you one more story before we bring this to a close. I want to tell you this story about Joey, the trombone player. Joey was my buddy when I was a kid. And Joey was a really good trombone player. In fact, actually, the main reason that Joey liked me, because I was a pianist and I could be his accompanist. So he let me play for him when he entered the Solo and Ensemble Festival. Now, I don't know if those of you who are close to my age have ever been a part of an old solo and ensemble festival, nor do I know if they even do these things, but they used to have, in my town, they would have some 400 or 500 kids collected together in some high school auditorium, and they all brought their little tooters and squeakers and honkers and whatever else they played, and they would play a solo, and they would play before some judge. Now, the judge was responsible for giving them a rating. Now, this poor judge, was a director of a middle school band. And then on the weekends, because teachers' salaries were so terribly low, this poor guy had to play, trombone in a band at the Holiday Inn. So on Saturday morning, he's going to judge this contest. Now, Joey was a nice kid, but had terrible musical tastes. And his favorite composer was a composer of trumpet solo pieces named Vandercook. Now, Vandercook is the Dutch name, and I should be proud of him, but he was a lousy composer. His accompaniments were the most boring ever. They were like this. And they went on and on and on. And so sometimes I would get so bored, I would decide maybe I'll play this with my elbow, or maybe I'll play this part by ear. So we played this piece by Vandercook, and I started out pretty well, and then I got a mean streak in the middle of the piece, which sometimes used to happen. But it began like this. Oh, oh. I'm bored already. Come on. Now we get the middle part, the exciting middle part. Now, this is my interlude, and this trill is supposed to last about a second. But I figure, as long as I'm trilling, he can't be playing that horrible music. So I trilled for a while with my right hand, then I trilled with my left hand, and when my left hand got tired, I trilled with both hands, and then I did this. I hate this kind of music, I'd rather play rock and roll. Well, I hate this kind of music, well, I'd rather play rock and roll. Well, the rock and roll is better for your soul. And poor Joey is like, now what do I do? Well, the judge not only would not speak to us, but he just threw us out of the room. And Joey, for his part, said, I will never, never, as long as I shall live, I will never speak to you again. That lasted for about 2 weeks. And then Joey gets an invitation to play a solo in the Sunday morning service of the Hyper-Calvinist Amsterdam Convention Double Dutch Reformed Church in McBain, Michigan. Now, Joey has no idea what kind of a church this is. Joey has a certain kind of music that he likes. And he likes sort of gospel-y hymns in really flamboyant arrangements. So he decides to play a set of variations on the old hymn, Leaning on the Everlasting Arms. Now, Joey doesn't know what kind of a church this is. You know, this is, unfortunately, this is a, wait a minute, let me find it. Except, of course, at Lent, when it becomes a... Now, mind you, there's a church across the street where Joey's music would be just perfect. It's the church where Grace Fingerworthy plays Sunday morning piano. So Joey decides he's going to play Leaning on the Everlasting Arms. And we begin like this. Now we get the exciting and passionate minor key variation. Noticed a raspy sound in the middle of that variation? That's caused by the presence of a lot of saliva in the horn. And there's a decent way to empty that saliva. You aim the horn toward the floor, and you, in the mouthpiece, you open the spit valve, and the spit sort of goes on the floor. But Joey didn't think about that. He was holding the horn up in playing position, so he opens the spit valve and blows all over the first 17 rows of the church. I think about 30 people must have fainted. And now we're going to play the most garish, the most disgusting, the most show-offish variation of this whole sequence. This is the final variation. This is the finale. This is where you try to do it all in one breath, and Joey almost succeeded. After we finished, the place, as you can guess, is utterly silent. Nobody knows quite what to do or what to say. And then the poor minister is sitting up there with an egg on his face. And finally, a fellow I'll call Uncle Henry stands up. He is the oldest of the elders in the church. He stands up and he loosens his necktie. He removes his jacket, his black suit jacket. He loosens his necktie, unbuttons the top button of his shirt, and then he speaks for all the assembly to hear. He says, "Amen!" Once in a while, family takes precedence over tradition. And I wonder who's in your amen chorus. Who will stand up for you? who will stand up and shout amen for you, because we all need that encouragement. Next week, we'll sing that amen song. We're going to have the wonderful actor, humorist Kurt Cloninger on with us. You'll hear several things from me. One of them is you'll hear a German musicologist discussing the history of the nursery rhyme. You'll hear another phone ringing story or two. You'll hear two British musicians who almost lost their life over somewhere over the rainbow. Tell your friends, and if you have some funny stories about what's been happening in your life in this pandemic time, we'd love to hear those funny stories. And meanwhile,
fill the world with love and laughter all through the night. Still be laughing morning after all through the night. Let the face be filled with smiles, better for the walking miles. Let good laughter be your style all through the night.
and if you want to donate to this work, remember interluderetreats.org. People have been gracious with us. We need you to be gracious again, and some more. We can't do any work on the road. All of the work that we can do is on Zoom and these virtual events, and they're happening, and we're glad for them. We'd love to have you partner with us. Don't forget, go to Ted and Company or Center for Art, Humor, and Soul. We will see each other next week. Have a great week. Oh, wait. Next week, our concert is on Thursday. I forgot to mention that. We have to change the day because our wonderful videographer, Sonia, cannot be with us on Wednesday. So we're changing the day to Thursday. Ooh, I wish I'd said that earlier, but I didn't. You got to go, and we got to go. Have a wonderful evening. Next Thursday, the 1st of October. Is that? No. Yeah, the 1st of October. Wow. No, is it 24th? I'm sorry, Thursday's the 24th. Okay, the 24th of October, we'll be here, you'll be here. Be at peace, be well, be strong. Bye.